All right. Hey guys, this is Seb Burnett with the Backups Podcast. I am here with my buddy, my co-host Tex Glisson. Tex, say fuck you to all our listeners.
Hey guys, I just want you to know I'm here and I'm ready to mingle.
That's good, buddy.
We're here. We're live.
We are. We got a good short episode coming to you today. We're gonna do our 32 teams in 30-ish days. Yeah,
We're running a little late.
it's all right though. We want to space them out to give you guys time to process, our assumptions and such, and let the trade field settle down a little bit. Because I mean, the thing is, it's settled down a little bit more towards the end of the week. But man, right at the beginning, those first 3 days were fucking bananas.
Yes, literally.
Yeah,
Gah.
sure. We're going to talk about the Bills. For those of you that do not know, originally the Bills had the 22nd and 21st pick of the first round. They traded that 21st pick to the Bengals to move up to 12. We're going to talk about both of those picks, and we're going to talk about the Bills past season and what they where they failed, what they need to get together this season, and we're going to go from there. So, Tex, why don't you start us off? What did you think about them last season?
I really liked the fact that they had a lot of faith in Nathan Peterman, and he showed a lot of promise when he walked onto the field, and then pretty much after the first snap went for a pick six. That all went away. No, all hilarity aside, I think the Bills had a better than they expected first year. Their coach Sean McDermott took the Bills to the playoffs for the first time, and I don't even remember how long. I think it was like 20 years, and was it Andy Dalton basically?
Yeah, he
did
did it. Yeah, he did by beating the Ravens. Otherwise, we would have seen another, Joe Flacco playoffs performance, which is just him being the same terrible Joe Flacco. So
exactly. No, but I don't know. I I was very confused by their previous season on why they traded for Kelvin Benjamin, and then now they traded Tyrod Taylor to the Browns, and it looks like they are ramping up to, I guess, take a quarterback. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like. And I don't like how they handled Tyrod. I actually think Tyrod's a better quarterback than the Bills treated him I think he has a chance to do something with Cleveland. They just, they has to be in the right system. That's kind of the issue there. And the Bills and Sean McDermott, they were just they're very stubborn. Tyrod needs to be taking snaps from the shotgun position and being able to threaten the field with his legs and then use his arm, which he has a good arm. He has a good, strong arm, and he is accurate. But when do you ever see a coach and an offensive system that's not kind of geared towards its current quarterback? When does that ever work out?
Yeah, never. That's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to go well. They overachieved last season. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but definitely with that 22nd pick that they have and the 12th pick, I think that it's highly likely they package those two together and move up to second with the Giants.
All right. So is it time for me to talk about my conspiracy theory?
Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead. All right, buckle up, guys. This gets weird.
Okay, I'm going to try to make it quick.
Okay, please.
During the trade talks with the Browns and the Buffalo Bills, the Bills basically asked the Browns what it would take to move up to 1 or 4. Browns own the first and the fourth pick in the NFL draft. So that conversation, they basically said, you have the 21st and the 22nd pick. You need to better one of those picks. By doing that, they said, okay, they completed the Tyrod Taylor trade to get Tyrod off their books. By doing so, it basically made the Browns appear like they didn't need a quarterback because they basically had one that was viable. So AJ McCarron, for the longest time, was linked to the Cleveland Browns as being pretty much a lock to go there. When Tyrod went there, his value for the Browns essentially just plummeted, right? The first day of free agent signings, everyone got signed but AJ McCarron. AJ ended up signing with the Buffalo Bills. Okay,
for 2 years. Not a huge deal.
Not a huge deal at all. And actually, 2 years was pretty short. I mean, borderline disrespectful in my opinion. But
I mean, it's not unusual for what we're seeing these days. Is that all these players and these quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins, they're trying to do 3 years because that's when the new CBA is out, and then it's entirely possible that we go into this next CBA, which there might not be a salary cap. So obviously, you want to kind of taper and be a free agent at that point so you can renegotiate your contract and then get, instead of $30 million, $50 million, which, I mean, he's not going to get that, but still.
But he's essentially betting on himself, which I get, right?
Right.
So back to the Bills. The Bills, right after they made the Tyrod Taylor trade, they ended up trading Cordy Glenn, their starting left tackle, to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals ended up switching first-round picks with them. So the Bengals sent the 12th pick to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills sent the 21st pick to the Bengals. And then they also, shipped their left tackle to the Bengals. By doing that, they then have the 22nd and the 12th pick in the NFL draft. Right after that move, a few days later, they signed A.J. McCarron for nothing, right? So if A.J. would have signed with the Browns, it would have cost the Browns so much more because it was supply and demand. The Browns needed a quarterback. A.J. McCarron was a viable, quarterback for them to sign. But now that they had a quarterback, okay, A.J. will just have to take anything that comes his way. So A.J. McCarron signs with the Bills for 2 years. Here's my theory. During that initial conversation, when Tyrod Taylor was shipped to the Cleveland Browns, the Browns basically said to better your pick, so they did. They got the 12th and 22nd. Then they also signed A.J. McCarron. I think it's entirely possible that the Browns also orchestrate a trade with the Bills for A.J. McCarron, the 12th pick and the 22nd pick, and some extra garbage on the back end. Okay? By doing that, you say to me, okay, they have Tyrod Taylor already on the books. Yeah, but he's cheap. He's super inexpensive, right? They have A.J. McCarron. They don't need another quarterback. A.J. McCarron is cheap. He's super expensive. The Browns have a ton of cap space. They could sign, or they could absorb that A.J. McCarron deal and then go through training camp with both quarterbacks and either keep both of them and let the better one play or cut one of them, right?
Right.
But for the first time, they would have quarterback depth, like veteran quarterback depth, something they've never had, and options. And by doing that, they would trade out of the 4th pick. They could still take a quarterback at 1, but it would give the Bills. I don't know. I just think it's possible. It's a little outlandish. I completely understand that, but that's my conspiracy theory, and I'm sticking to it. So it's not going to happen, but it would be really cool if it did.
I don't know if cool is exactly the word I would use. Like, that just seems like a clusterfuck,
Yes, it would be. It would be an amazing clusterfuck to watch. I'm sorry, it would. I hate you.
Well, I guess we'll see how it goes.
But that's my thing.
So that's his theory. So what are you? So if they trade up to number 2 with the Giants, let's go in this hypothetical situation that the Browns get.
1 second.
Okay.
Why would they trade the Cincinnati Bengals and their left tackle to move to 12? It doesn't make sense. They're going to package, right? Like, they have to be doing. This has to be like one of a series of moves that they're trying to do. Correct?
Oh yeah, this is pawn to D4.
They're not staying at 12 and 22, in your opinion, right?
No. I think there's zero chance they stay at 12 and 22. I think that they're either going to try to move up to 2 with the Giants or 4 with the Browns pick.
Okay, let's go down this rabbit hole with the Giants. I want to do this. Go.
Okay, we'll do the Giants. In this scenario, I think it's fair to say Browns grab Darnold at 1. That's a fair assumption, right?
Yeah, right now the general consensus at this day and date, or at this date is March 18th, 2018. Is Sam Darnold is pretty much going to be the number one overall pick.
Right. Which personally, neither of us love that. I have an issue with USC quarterbacks, man. Like I feel like the same descriptions that we got for Matt Leinart and Mark Sanchez and John David Booty, who was obviously not as highly touted as the rest of them, but still, it's the same thing. He's a gamer. He loves crunch time. Darnold wouldn't have it any other way. That kind of bullshit, and I don't love it.
I don't either. Who's your number one quarterback?
My number one quarterback right now, Baker Mayfield for me.
Yeah, I think it's for me. It's probably Baker, or unfortunately Allen.
I think it just depends. It depends on what you want in a quarterback. That's the whole thing.
Right.
Like, because it's two different situations. You have some teams that can't wait, and if they can't wait and they have to field a rookie quarterback this year, then you go Rosen or you go Baker.
Yeah.
If you can wait, you go Darnold or Josh Allen, your project prospects.
Right. That's true.
So at number 2, if they're all gone, but you have to think about like the Bills and the kind of players that they like.
White.
Sorry, Tyrod.
Like, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Right, who do they take? If Darnold's off the board, who are the Bills taking at 2?
Well, they have AJ McCarron for 2 years. Honestly, I could see them going Josh Allen.
Okay,
just like that pocket passing quarterback. He's big, got a big arm, got big hands. Because I never really thought about it beforehand, but the whole like hand size thing for teams in the north and like cold weather and the snow. I mean, we saw the whiteout game this year was fucking insane. You got to have big hands if you're going to throw the ball in that situation, especially.
Yep.
And I think it's a big deal, and I think it's something that these teams and coaches and staff think about more than I thought before, for sure. All so right. Who do you think? Who would you pick if you were the Bills picking up to number 2?
Yeah, I would probably go Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield. I think Baker could handle. I think Bills Mafia could really get behind, and I know that's really dumb to kind of take into consideration when you're talking about drafting a guy, but I think Baker really embodies Bills Mafia ethos and mantra. Like, he's cocky, he's in your face, he's a gamer, he's somebody that Bills Mafia really could get behind. And although he is a little short, I'm pretty sure a guy named Doug Flutie was also pretty short, huh?
Yeah. Drew Brees? Yeah.
Drew Brees, but I'm saying Doug Flutie because he played in Buffalo.
I know.
No, you didn't know until I told you.
Okay, go make yourself feel better. That's fine. Go with that, you dick.
Whatever. You didn't know that. Little did you know you didn't know that.
Yeah. So normally this podcast that we do right here, these episodes run pretty short. We're going to extend it a little bit because we are technically talking about 2 picks. So let's say they don't trade up for whatever odd, crazy ass reason. They don't trade up, right? And they keep that 12 and they keep that 22. What do you do?
I still think there's quite possibly, depending on where the Broncos end up going, or the Jets. Jets are at 3. Yeah, so depending where the Broncos go, they could still get a quarterback at 12. It's just, it's technically the 4th best quarterback, right? So like, you're trading your left tackle for the 4th best quarterback. Okay, I mean that's fine, right? You have AJ McCarron, so you have a project ahead of you anyway. And you have a starting quarterback in the waiting. So you could still potentially get Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. Just depends on what the Broncos. I think the Broncos either go Josh Allen, which is kind of a cliche pick because he's really tall.
Right.
Or they go Baker because they're really circling around Baker pretty hard. I I personally think the Broncos go Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
Sure.
So again, even at 12, they still have potentially the opportunity, depending on, what Miami does, what the Cardinals do on draft day. The Cardinals could always trade up, but they could stay there and get, potentially still have an opportunity to grab a quarterback. And maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they've polled, or they're asking around and looking at the landscape and seeing what other teams are doing between looks like 5 and 11. Sure. And maybe they have a really good feeling that at 12 they needed to move up because they're still ahead of the Redskins, which while they did sign Alex Smith, you never know what the Redskins are going to do. They're still ahead of the Ravens, the Cardinals, and the Chargers, all spots that are very coveted because they're either, they have bad quarterback play or in need of a quarterback right now. So
sure.
I think it was a successful move for them. But I think you and I both agree that was just possibly a pawn to move up even higher.
Right. Well, we're waiting on the other chips to fall at this point.
Yep.
But who knows? I mean, maybe they don't like any of the quarterbacks right now.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? Maybe they're going to be happy with AJ McCarron, or maybe they don't like any of those top 4. Look, and we're going to go under the assumption that they don't like Lamar Jackson. Okay, I just considering what we saw with Tyrod, I know Lamar Jackson is better and he has more potential, but I don't think they like that style of quarterback play. So what if, some reason they like there's a lot of mocks have them getting Mason Rudolph with that 22nd pick.
I get that too. Me personally, I like Tyrod Taylor and I like AJ McCarron as both starting quarterbacks, at least giving them full confidence in running your team. They could definitely go at 22 and get a quarterback, right there, depending on what happens ahead of them. Even at 12, though, there's still the potential that they wanted to get ahead of those other teams and picking the best player that wasn't a quarterback, if that makes sense. Like, because quarterback and offensive linemen are going to go high. I don't think that they trade their left tackle to move up to get another left tackle. I don't think that makes sense. So maybe they moved up to 12 to get potentially like, a Derwin James or a Tremaine Edmonds or a Denzel Ward, like somebody of that caliber that falls back to them.
Right. A blue chipper.
Yep. 2 blue chippers and rolling with AJ McCarron or getting 1 blue chipper at 12 and then whichever quarterback they feel best on their board at 22.
Yeah, no, I definitely think all of those are possible, and it would be really interesting to see how it all falls. But as we've said multiple times, we're just waiting for the rest of it to happen because it's probably going to.
Well, keep in mind the trades that we've seen in recent memory have usually happened around the April 10th to April 20th mark, but everything this year has happened sooner. Alex Smith trade happened uncharacteristically soon. Trades were just being announced all over, before technically you could even make trades, but, teams were getting out ahead and making these moves. So I think while, there's still time left, everything is really happening a little bit sooner. So I could see there not being really too many high caliber moves until draft day, because a lot of the big moves have already happened. That's just my opinion. So
sure. We were just talking about the Broncos thing. Are we absolutely sure that they take a quarterback?
I don't see I am 100% sure that they take a quarterback. They were their coaches and whatnot were at the Senior Bowl, and they are scouting hardcore for quarterbacks. And I think John Elway's job depends right now on the quarterback that comes in, and I think that they're looking for the most ready quarterback for right now. Even though they just signed Case Keenum, I don't know, he could get overtaken if he has a few crappy games, and the Broncos will do it. They'll just pull him,
So if they're thinking that, then it turns into Baker Mayfield or Josh Rosen.
Exactly. They are looking for, in my opinion, a more quarterback ready prospect, which is why they're doing so much due diligence on Baker Mayfield and looking at Josh Rosen so much.
Yeah, That makes absolute sense. All right, guys. Well, that's what we think about the Bills, 2017 and upcoming 2018 draft moves that we're thinking that they're going to make, and our predictions for the future and our oracleness and such. Yeah, but you can definitely look us up on Apple Podcast, review us, give us a nice rating. If you do that, Tex will send you nudes, and let me tell you, it's not that great, really. I don't want to oversell it.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm going to send them in, like separate pics though, so it makes it look bigger.
There you go. Perfect. This took 11 pictures.
That's a lot of vein detail.
Yeah, you can find us on www.instagram.com/thebackups. You can find us on all social media, essentially. Just look at the backups with a Z. All right? Just look there. You can find us on Google Play, Spotify.
Bumble.
No, actually,
that was awkward.
That's where I met, yeah. Anyway, good times. Well, anything else for the listeners, buddy?
No, just get social with us. Poke me.
Well, that got weird.
You've been listening to the Backups Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, find us on iTunes, and visit the website at www.thebackups.com with a Z for more.